What was one of the biggest fears of the 19th century? Not ghosts, not vampires, but being buried alive. This fear, called taphophobia, was so real and so widespread that people demanded a solution. And inventors got creative. Introducing the safety coffin. These were coffins designed with escape plans for the not quite dead. Some had breathing tubes for fresh air, and many had a string placed in the corpse's hand that was connected to a bell on the surface. If you woke up 6 feet under, all you had to do was ring the bell, and the cemetery watchman would come dig you up. It's a terrifying thought, but it was a very real invention. A solution for a fear that was, for many, worse than death itself. The high five. We do it to celebrate, to say hello. It feels like it's been around forever, right? Well, it hasn't. It's actually younger than Star Wars. The high five was invented in 1977. It happened at a Los Angeles Dodgers baseball game. A player named Dusty Baker just hit a huge home run. As he ran to home plate, his teammate Glenn Burke raised his hand high in the air. Baker, not knowing what else to do, just reached up and slapped it. And in that moment, the high five was born. The team started doing it. Other teams copied them. And soon, the gesture exploded out of the sports world and into global culture. So that simple gesture started with one legendary home run. You know how otters are just ridiculously cute? Well, they do this thing that takes it to another level. They hold hands. Seriously. When a group of otters, called a raft, is sleeping or resting on the water, they'll all link paws. It's adorable, but it's not just for cuteness overload. It's actually a genius survival strategy. By holding hands, they create a living anchor, so they don't float away from each other while they're sleeping. They also often wrap themselves in kelp for extra security. So while it looks like they're having a sweet slumber party, they're actually just trying not to get lost at sea. Imagine waking up alone in the middle of the ocean after your friends floated off without you. It's basically the cutest way to say, "Don't float away from me, buddy." The ultimate cute and practical cuddle puddle. What's the most chaotic sporting event of all time? It might be the 1904 Olympic Marathon. The race was held in scorching 90-degree heat on dusty roads with almost no water. It was a complete disaster. The guy who finished first? He was disqualified because he got a cramp, hitched a ride in a car for 11 miles, and then jogged to the finish line. The man who actually won was given strychnine, a literal poison, by his trainers to keep him going. He started hallucinating and had to be carried off the course. Another runner was chased a mile off course by dogs. And the fourth-place finisher ran in street clothes, stopped to eat rotten apples, got a stomach cramp, and took a nap on the side of the road. It was less of an athletic competition and more of a bizarre, hilarious train wreck. You know that adorable head tilt dogs do when you talk to them? It's one of the cutest things on the planet. But it's not just to make you melt. They're actually doing something very smart. Your dog isn't confused, it's concentrating. And there are 2 main reasons why. First, they're trying to hear you better. That little tilt adjusts their ears to help them pinpoint exactly where your voice is coming from. But the cooler reason, they're trying to see your face. A dog's long snout blocks part of its vision. By tilting, they get a clearer view of your mouth and expressions, so they can better understand how you're feeling. So that cute little gesture is actually your dog saying, "I'm trying my absolute best to understand you." We've all been stressed about a deadline, right? That report for your boss, that project for school. But have you ever wondered where that word comes from? Its origin is much, much darker than you think. Deadline comes from the American Civil War, and it was a literal line of death. In the horrific conditions of prisons like Andersonville, a line was drawn in the dirt around the camp. The guards had a simple order. If any prisoner crossed that dead line for any reason, they were to be shot on sight. No questions asked. The term was later adopted by the printing press as a time limit you couldn't cross. And eventually it made its way into your office. So that deadline you're worried about, it used to be a lot more stressful. Red pandas. They're basically walking teddy bears, and they're so cute they don't even look real. But these fluffy tree dwellers have a little secret. They're actually super clumsy. To help themselves climb and navigate trees without falling, they do something absolutely adorable. They cover their eyes. Yup, they'll use their big fluffy tails or their little paws to block their vision while they're climbing down. It's not because they're shy or playing peekaboo. It's a genius trick to help them concentrate. By blocking out all the distracting leaves and branches, they can better focus on their footing and maintain their balance. Imagine trying to walk on a tightrope through a forest with a strobe light going off. So that super cute pose is actually a red panda saying, "Please hold my calls. I'm trying to concentrate here." The cutest way to stay balanced in a chaotic world. Get ready for a cuteness overload. This is a quokka, and it's famous for being the world's happiest animal. I mean, just look at that smile. But is it actually happy all the time? What's the secret? The secret is, it was just born that way. A quokka's smile isn't really a smile at all. It's a quirk of their anatomy, the shape of their mouth and their facial muscles. Just naturally rest in a position that looks like a cheerful, permanent grin. Now, they are super friendly and curious animals, which is why they take such great selfies with people. But that adorable smile is just their default setting. They literally can't stop smiling. Ever stood on a high balcony or a cliff and had a weird, terrifying thought for a split second? I could just jump? You're not suicidal. You don't want to do it, but the urge is there. It's a creepy glitch in your brain. It has a name, l'appel du vide, or the call of the void. And it doesn't mean you have a secret death wish. It actually means the exact opposite. It's a sign that your brain's survival instincts are working perfectly. The theory is your fast, subconscious brain sees the danger and sends a super fast alarm signal. Get back from the edge. But your slower, conscious brain misinterprets that get back alarm as a bizarre urge to jump. So that terrifying thought is actually just your brain's life-saving alarm system. Getting lost in translation. You think a normal thunderstorm is scary? Nature has something way more metal. It's called a dirty thunderstorm, and it's what happens when a volcano gets so angry it starts shooting lightning. This isn't lightning from the sky hitting the volcano. The volcano is making its own lightning right inside the massive cloud of ash and rock it's spitting out. As all those millions of rock fragments and particles blast into the air, they rub against each other, creating an insane amount of static electricity. Eventually, that energy has nowhere to go, and it explodes in a terrifyingly beautiful display of volcanic lightning. It's one of the rarest and most powerful shows on Earth. Nature's own heavy metal concert.